Okay, give Eastern credit. I thought they really battled. I thought they scouted us well, made it difficult for us in spots. Give our guys credit. Coming out in the second half, thought we played with just more pace offensively, which was good to see. So we had some good defensive possessions, but obviously a lot to clean up, a lot to get better on, a lot to improve on as we move forward.
Chris, looking at the shot chart from the first half to the second half, they look pretty drastically different. How much was the halftime emphasis just get in the paint and try to get downhill a little bit?
Yeah, it was obviously a big emphasis, Adam. I think just in general, playing with more pace, more cutting, more movement, and playing through the paint. I thought we needed to do that. We did not do a good job of that in the first half, and that's obviously we didn't get them ready to attack at that level. So I'll take responsibility for that. But really good job in the second half.
The punch that Bryce continues to give you offensively.
Yeah.
In the first half, when things weren't falling, he got you some buckets. And,
yeah.
How much are you through 3 games? Are you leaning on him a little bit, or is he capable of doing things offensively that you thought he was going to be at this point?
Yeah, he's not really surprised us offensively. He's a very gifted offensive player. I think his defense is coming along. Obviously, he would have played more had the game not gotten to a place where I felt like we needed to play some other guys, and we're still trying to get Justice in a better rhythm. But he's done some terrific things offensively, and we needed it tonight.
I think besides Zed, 4 of the 5 starters were scoreless at halftime, and those guys didn't have a lot of productivity overall by the end of the game. Did you want more effort out of the starters besides Zed tonight?
Yeah, I thought just in general, we did not have the kind of start we needed to with that group, with that starting group. Just not the pace or the effort we needed to with that starting group, which is why we subbed early.
And was that, some of the rust you talked about, even after Justice's big season opener, you kind of saying that you're going to see some rust from him this season early on?
Yeah, I think some of that is he's a much better shooter than how he shot it up to this point, Griffin. He just is. But he missed some open ones. I do think teams are going to play him like this. They're going to short close on him. So it was good. Teams did that towards really his year in the Big Ten, and what he ended up doing is shooting it at almost 34-35%, and teams stopped short closing on him. So he's just going to have to continue to take good ones, and I'm confident he'll knock them down.
You face what appears to be a pretty significant step up in competition here.
Yeah, I'll say.
It doesn't seem to me like you've started well yet, and you've started the same group. I wonder if you're...
We started pretty well against Charleston Southern.
Okay. I just wonder if you're contemplating, are you committed to your 3-guard lineup, or could we see a different group Monday night?
Yeah, I thought today was honestly the game where we did not start well. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know that I would say the other ones we did not start well. But I think to your question, I think the starting lineup will always be pretty fluid. Could there be a change in the future? It's possible, but we subbed pretty quickly today just because I felt like our effort with that group needed to improve.
How would you characterize where you are right now, going into what is obviously a much stiffer test? Are you struggling? Are you where you want to be? Are you where you expected to be?
I'll evaluate the film. We're a work in progress. That's what I would characterize. We're a work in progress.
Chris, you mentioned how, today was kind of a struggle. Even though, you gave credit to Eastern Illinois for battling tough, how important was, kind of seeing a game like this where the team was obviously struggling, against competition that might be seen as lesser? How important is that just for, their development and for the rest of the season?
Yeah, no, I think this was important for us. Let's take what we can learn from it and be better and coach better and play better. Let's work on that moving forward. That's always what you're trying to do with these early season games. I thought our guys did a great job in the second half in a lot of ways. We'll applaud that, but certainly we need to be better in terms of our turnovers and some other areas.
The stretch after you got ahead 21-5, something like that, I think you were 2 for 11 and had 6 turnovers the last 9 minutes of the first half. Just what did you not like about what was going on there after your guys came off the bench and kind of stabilized things a little bit?
Yeah.
Then you had another really bad lull there to end the half. Just what was going on there?
I think it was probably our shot quality and our turnover, Steve, if I'm thinking through it. They had a kid, their point guard had not made a 3 coming into the game, and he made 3 in this game, and I think 2 in that stretch, if I'm remembering that right. But I think it was our shot quality and our turnovers. We just we're not good in that stretch, clearly.
It's a long trip out there, long trip back, and if you looked at the rankings there's 5 ranked teams in this field. You could play 3 ranked teams in 3 days.
Talking about Maui?
Yeah, Maui. Just, it's easy to psych yourself out, between here and there, but just how do you go into it with the mindset of you want to go win it, you want to go play your best basketball, all this, and I don't know, just what do you do to kind of recenter, refocus everybody on that?
Well, I do not want to psych anybody out, much less myself. But I get your question. It is a very good field, Steve. I think it's maybe the best field of any tournament I've competed in as a coach, Steve. To be honest with you, I think it's the best field. The team we're playing to open can get to a Final Four, clearly. I mean, they were the second best defensive team in the country, and they return everybody almost. They are phenomenal. They will be one of the best teams we play the entire year. I mean, San Diego State is a phenomenal team. They're old. They are incredibly physical. They're tremendous defensively. They're really good offensively. I mean, we're going to play grown men, and then obviously, to your point, you got to respond, then play another good team, win or lose, followed by another good team. So we'll learn a lot here this next really 10 days, Steve.
We talked yesterday, or whenever it was, about other teams. You'd shown your team some of the upsets and whatnot. Do you think some of that didn't hit the mark in the first half, or was it not that simple?
Oh, I think it's possible. I think you try to, you'd have to ask them that. I think we always need to have, obviously, a really healthy respect for who we play. They'd probably answer that better.
Isaac said he really likes the way this team prepares, and he thinks even going against teams you'll see in Maui, teams you'll see in the Big Ten, that will help this team. Is that the same assessment you have of the preparation so far? I
think our preparation's been good. I think, including the exhibition, we played pretty hard. I've been pleased with that, with the exception of stretches for tonight.
Yesterday, you told us that this Eastern Illinois team, they'll force you to turn it over a few times, and there were 17 tonight. So when you're going up against San Diego State, a team that kind of makes their money being real physical defensively and getting up on you, other than the obvious stop turning the ball over, what needs to change, do you think, to take care of it a little bit better?
Well, we've certainly put a lot of thought into that. And I think we have got to continue to be simple in how we play offensively. Listen, I think we're going to turn the ball over more than what we have in the past. When you have this number of new guys and this number of freshmen, and a number of our freshmen are handling the ball, you also have Justice coming back. He's got to take care of the ball better. He's got to, and he's got to be better in that area. But I think that's an area where we will improve as the year goes on, but I don't think we're going to when we had C.J. Walker in that group right now, I think we were top 15 or top 20 in the country in turnover percentage. I'm not sure that's realistic with this group.
Chris Bryce is averaging 17 points in just under 18 minutes of play. How do you feel about his shot selection? He's shooting 50%, and how do you feel about his shot frequency?
Good. Listen, we want him to stay aggressive. I think his minutes obviously will increase here. But I think there's been a couple that, maybe I'd say it's not the best one. Maybe 1 or 2 tonight, kind of long contested twos. But outside of that, I think it's been pretty good. and I love how aggressive he's been.
About that aggression, is that something you don't necessarily want to steer him away from because you do need scorers?
No, we want him aggressive. Absolutely. We have encouraged that. We need that. We want that. There's a balance there. Our biggest thing we talked to him about is defense and rebounding. He's got to be good in those areas. That's the biggest areas we've talked to. And we've mentioned shot selection, but it's been more about defense and rebounding.
With Zed, the way that he has played now through 3 games, it seems like he's putting in maybe some of that effort you've asked him to on the glass. Are you, on a night where you struggled to get things going on in the paint for a while, he still seemed like he was kind of active down there. Where is he as he gets ready to go face a much more physical challenge going forward?
I think his conditioning is solid. I wouldn't say I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I think we're going to have to continue to watch it. I thought there were stretches in this game where he could, as an older player, I expect him to play a little bit harder than what he did. But Zed's had a really good opening to the season, and these are just high expectations for a junior.
When you're talking about like an older player, you have higher expectations for them. How difficult is it for maybe a guy like that or a player in his situation to understand that? Because I'm sure that they kind of think they can be at a certain point, but if you're asking for more and they've been there for a few years, how hard is that adjustment?
For
a player. Like Zed, if you're asking for more from him, you're holding him to a higher expectation because he's a veteran.
Yeah, I think it's an adjustment. I think the first year or two, you can kind of blame youth, blame inexperience. He's also playing around other guys that, I think people would say I'm pretty hard and demanding on our older guys, especially older guys that have been in the program. So when you enter the place he is, there's high expectations. Okay, thank you.
Chris. Thanks.